Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic veteran. I am here with Yanzi Lynn, and today is the day we are talking a little bit more decimated DC once again. Now, we have done numerous videos on the Warren Ellis accusations, but it never stops. That's the thing with cancel culture, especially when there's not legally a crime committed, is there seems to never be an end to this. And we're going to get into it, but before we do, please look down below. We are on the march to 10,000 subs. If you'll look down below, you'll notice we're around 7,675. Let's get there. Let's get to 10,000 subs. So if you will, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Now, Warren Ellis, for people who don't know, he was a lot of women came out of woodwork from an old forum he had back in the day, where women would post nudes. When women would write Warren Ellis's name on their body with lipstick and take selfies in the mirror. And the problem pretty much is a lot of women thought he was using his power in publishing as a way to force them into dating him. I don't know. Like, it really didn't make sense because it seemed like everything was consensual, but the problem seemed to really out of whack or come undone when the women found out about each other. And they were like, wait, I'm not the only one. There's like 5 other women you're doing this to. And from my understanding, they were going to cons and stuff. Now, was this good behavior for Warren Ellis? You know, that's a moral question. One guy would say yes, absolutely. One guy would say no. He was a sleazeball. But the real question is, did he do anything illegal? Right?
So after all the accusations came out about Warren Ellis, there was this website called So Many of Us, where all these women detailed what they think were the crimes that Warren Ellis committed against him. Basically, they accused him of grooming a bunch of women in their 20s, which as a trained psychologist, no, that's not actually possible. But hey, sure, whatever. So yeah, all this crime, all the crimes, blah, 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 all the documentation, so on and so forth. Now, it's very important to note this, though. So even when The Beat talks about what Warren Ellis did, they have to keep using the term allegations, allegations, allegations. There is no actual crime that they can really pinpoint exactly, so it's all allegations at this point.
And if they were to print it was a crime, they have to keep printing allegations, because if they don't, they could be sued. And that's the truth. Is right now they're nobody knows but the people involved what really happened. And their allegations, because they probably can't go to court because everybody was over over the age of 18.
Not to mention, it's all consensual. It's just basically the women were mad because they weren't the special only one. Look, I'm not trying to downplay it. Obviously, I feel that Warren Ellis, what he did was let's face it, it was sleazy. All right, playing all these women and all this stuff, pretending that he has powers to get them published and so on. That's kind of sleazy. But at the same time, it's like you're canceling him because you thought that he was going to help your career, and when it didn't manifest, and it turns out they was helping all these other women too. It's like, oh, I'm not special anymore, and then you claim that a crime was committed against.
Now, for the record, the forum that he was running, there were people that did get careers out of being on that forum or being around him. But that didn't mean every girl that ran up to him that acted sexually interested in him would get the same type of benefits.
Like, see, that's the problem. If they got the benefit, they wouldn't be trying to crucify him at this point. If they got the benefit, they'll be like, oh, no, Warren helped me, blah blah blah. All right, so let's get to the crux of the issue today, and that is that DC is printing a Wildstorm 30th anniversary special, and obviously there is this team that you may or may not have heard of called The Authority, that Warren Ellis was responsible for creating together with Brian Hitch. And yeah, because of that, they have to reprint some of his stuff in that. Even if they are going to commission for new work, they're going to we can't exactly do an Authority thing without Warren Ellis.
Right, because he was kind of the front end of it. And at the end of the Authority stuff, there's actually some really cool Mark Millar stuff, which kind of was that run of Mark Millar. He does like a kind of superhero Marvel type knockoff team that's kind of like the influence for Marvel's Ultimates. I mean, DC Comics wants to publish this. They have the rights to publish this, and it's really good comics. But you can't print the Mark Millar stuff without printing the Warren Ellis stuff that's the setup for it. And Mark Millar's run, or Warren Ellis's run, for that matter, on Authority is actually good. My issue, and I'm going to talk about it as a comic book artist, is like canceling Warren Ellis, especially for something he didn't do that's technically a crime yet, or maybe it wasn't a crime at all, we don't know, it's just allegations, actually punishes the artist that worked on those books along with the publisher. Like Brian Hitch can't get paid for his reprinted work on Authority if they stop printing it. And you're talking like, I think he had about 2 runs of it, 2 trades of it. So that's, roughly like, I mean, maybe 12 issues of the run, 8 to 12 issues. Like, I mean, that's a lot of work, and probably some of Brian Hitch's better work leading up to him going to work on the Ultimates, he can't get paid for. And that's kind of a benefit, especially when these comic artists get into their twilight years and are closer to retirement than anything else, is they're hoping that some of these works that they've done in their past produce an income in the aftermarket by staying in print. So it's not fair to punish Brian Hitch for something that Warren Ellis maybe or maybe didn't do. No, I mean, it's more, the more time passes, nobody's slapping cuffs on Warren Ellis. So like, you kind of have to assume there's nothing actual illegal that happened.
But that doesn't mean that something sleazy didn't happen. But anyway, so what is the crime today that he committed? Well, he got reprinted. And the beat here is very adamant about the fact that, oh, look at it. It's an inclusion in a high-profile anniversary one shot. Yeah, see, but again, I want to point this out too. The beat is like, oh, we want to reference the So Many of Us group. But the So Many of Us group has this to say. Our goal is to transform harm, not cancel Warren Ellis or anyone else. We cannot and will not sign off on his immoral progress. We decline to be the authority on who is allowed to work in what context. We reaffirm our support for the rights of creators to be paid for their work, as well as the rights of publishers, creators, and others to determine who they work with. So, i.e., it's basically a bunch of very pretty words if you don't actually mean it. And I hope that So Many of Us actually means it when they say, no, we don't want to cancel him. We want his work to be continued to be published. So why is the Beats here trying to pin a crime on Warren Ellis saying he got published? Where?
Yeah, because the Beat, this is just a narrative that they can't let go. That this is something, they just really want to condemn Warren Ellis. He can't come back up for air. He has to lose his Netflix deals. He has to starve to death in an alley somewhere for his crimes.
What crimes?
Well, we don't know.
But being sleazy and a criminal are totally different things.
I do want to point out something that's interesting, and that's what the site said, that, they don't want to kind of say people can't publish him, and they don't want to say publishers can't reprint him, and that's not the intentions of the site. They want to transform, whatever, not cancel, whatever. I feel like that, I really don't think that's genuine. Like, I feel like they're being very disingenuous there. That I feel like that's more of a disclaimer that whoever's the owner of that site or the people on that site can't be sued for tortious interference or him losing work. That I feel like this is something they have to say. So Warren Ellis can't say, you cost me a Netflix deal, you cost me a movie going into production, because there's a lot of things that Warren probably had either NDAs on, entertainment. He was really getting into the streaming, the TV shows, the movies, like, the movie Red. God knows how many things that were in the works that just evaporated. And the people on that site, I feel like they have to say that whether they mean it or not, just so they don't end up having a lawyer crawl up.
Pretty words. That's it.
Yeah. I think it's a disclaimer. Like, you can't sue us. I don't think it's pretty words. I think they're just doing it to protect themselves from litigation, because, again, this is the thing with cancel culture is, and I blame Twitter a lot, but this happened with, I think, Chris Hardwick. He was canceled before he could ever even get an investigation. And it turned out it was all false, but he had already lost, his TV show that he had after Walking Dead, all of this stuff, San Diego Comic-Con panels and all of this. And in the end, thank God he had the resources, money, and lawyers, but it turned out it was all fake. Not every guy has those resources. Not everybody's married into a very rich publication family like he was. So he had he had those means. Warren Ellis, I'm sure, he could go at this one way or the other. But I kind of feel like, he's just hoping it goes away one day, and it's a waiting game. But like the other problem I have with this is, like, even if the comic community is going to take it upon themselves to start being like judge and jury and whatever, and executioner, which is what this is. This is the comic industry trying to be vigilantes and take justice into their own hand and determine what's a crime and change what the word grooming means, which is not, you know, having relationships with 20-year-old women, you know, and all of this stuff that are of age. You know, this is something the comic industry is doing. And the part that bothers me the most is why. Like, I mean, what is it? I feel like it's more of a power thing. Like, oh, Warren Ellis is an acclaimed writer and he's powerful in some sense. But what if we could cancel Warren Ellis and I'm part of the beat? Look how powerful my site is, even though I'm having to run GoFundMe's for the site because we're not making money. And it's like the whole thing is like a lot of these sites should be chasing viewership, they should be chasing money, ad revenue, and instead they're looking for SJW power to cancel people. This is just kind of like the SJW nature of things in comics. And I hate saying SJW, but that's a term they come up with. I know it seems like I'm saying in a derogatory sense, but I don't know how else to address this group. And we see this all the time. And in a way, this is going to be like, well, Shane, I can't believe you're standing up for Warren Ellis. I'm kind of not. But at some point, even if he did commit a crime, it's like, well, how long is he to go without work? How long is it before the companies can reprint that work? Because again, I hate to keep bringing up Brian Hitch, but is it fair for Brian Hitch's work not to be published, especially when he's maybe getting ready to go into retirement in a few years because of the crime of somebody else that happened to work on the book? This isn't really a fair scenario. And actually, I think it's probably like one of the most disgusting things I've seen in comics, because in any of this article, do they actually care about Brian Hitch getting paid? Any of this, do they care about the artists on all of those Warren Ellis books getting paid? Or if somebody shared an intellectual property with Warren Ellis and that they're half owners of a property, do they care about that person? Do they care about the movie deal that maybe exploded over this? I mean, they're not just hurting Warren Ellis. That every comic, Warren Ellis is not an artist. Every comic that they're trying to cancel of Warren Ellis are absolutely hurting another innocent person. And they actively keep going at this. And there is what seems to be no real crime. So anyways, that's just our thoughts on it. If you guys will, leave us a comment down below. Let us know, you know, what you think on this. I mean, I'm not saying what happened wasn't sleazy, but is it something worth punishing an innocent person for? And I don't mean Warren Ellis. I mean every artist attached to every Warren Ellis comic. On that note, I do want to point out Inglorious Rex does look like it's going into a second 30-day campaign. We are at $157,562, 1,438 backers. We are looking to hit that 158. The link is down below. This is a book drawn by a beautiful man, a beautiful book by a beautiful man, Shane Davis, about monsters punching one another. It doesn't get better than that. I will leave you guys with a trailer for Inglorious Rex, and we will catch you guys again with another video. Guess who stepped on the scene? I got greatness all in my jeans. Ain't no way that I can slow down. I'm laced up, look how I shake the ground. Can't touch the crown, but you can kiss the ring. Close your eyes and see how I live a dream. I'm too smooth, MJ with the lean. Don't be fooled, I came through with the team. This is over their heads, how high can it go? I'm too over the edge, got my eyes on the goal. And we right back at it, keep them right on their toes. Look at the way that I move, this is all that I know. Cause I got the drive, I put it in gear. Line them up, I don't see no competitors here. If it ain't first place, we really can't settle for it. Listen up, get ready for it.